Hello, everybody. I am a mythical dragon. We are in the Dragon's Den. Pull up a seat, select a drink of your choice. We're going to be here for a while talking stories and streaming. It's going to be a good time. I am joined with my friend Lordess. Lordess, say hi.
Hello, hello, hello.
Lourdes is a good friend of mine. We do D&D and many things together. It's really a pleasure to have her here because I admitted to her just before this recording that I have no idea how she actually got started with streaming. I just saw that she was doing it and came to watch. So this will be fun to learn more about her experience and how long she's been doing this thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so to begin, this will be like an interview style for the audience. So I ask questions and then I let my guests talk forever and ever if they so choose. So this will be a fun way to do this podcast episode today. So, Miss Lordess of the Rings, how did you discover the streaming platform Twitch?
Alright, so this would have been in 2016, near the end of 2016, where I started spending a lot more time on YouTube. And I remember at this time I watched a lot of Dan and Phil. So I watched a lot of them. And I was watching them play a Five Nights at Freddy's game, and it led to me watching Mark play a Five Nights at Freddy game, which led to me watching more of Markiplier. And then from Markiplier, there's a long road, okay? From Markiplier, I started watching Wade. I started watching Wade and Bob. From Wade, I started watching Gar, JP, and Pat. And from Gar, JP, and Pat, I started watching Justin. And Justin, I actually started. That's the Justin. It was Gar's stream first, and then Gar was streaming a Golf of Drunks episode, and I saw that Justin was also streaming. So that was basically this. But Justin's community was like the first streaming community I was really a part of on Twitch.
Yeah, that's definitely quite a journey for sure.
Yeah, it took a long time to reach point A and point B to get to point B. Had to go point A 1, 2, 3, 4.
Very fair. Excellent. Yeah, I had an interesting start to my streaming thing too, where I met a small dude named Raptor Salad on Twitter, and then I was like, what is this Twitch thing? And he's like, come out and try and look for it yourself. I'm like, okay. I'll click on the link, and then I got mad at him because I didn't make an account. And he's like, well, yeah, if you're going to join something, you have to make an account. I was like, fine. And then, yeah, well, long story short, found Pat through him. Then everything else blew up that way. So definitely another long lineage story of streaming as well. So I can appreciate that journey. But I had no idea that it was Justin that was like the main community you're part of first before like Crumpler and everybody else. So that's interesting.
Yeah, because because I think actually it wasn't a Golf of Drunk stream, because that's how I met Crumpler. It was a different stream that Gar and Justin were both like streaming and playing a game together, and I was like, oh, this other guy that Gar's with is actually pretty fucking funny. I'm gonna go check out his streams. And then Justin streamed a lot more often at times that I was able to show up for.
Yeah.
So I always tried to like pop into his streams, and then and that's actually how I joined Discord. Is I saw they had a Discord community, and that's how I got on Discord. So before that, I didn't really know anyone other than Twitch chats.
Yeah, I think I can definitely vouch for that. I was a moderator. I became a moderator before I became a real guru of Twitch at one point, and I was like, I'm doing what with what? Okay, sure. And yeah, that was before Discord's time, which is crazy. I feel like I'm an ancient being on this internet world, but not really. So yeah, you were watching Twitch streams, found all these other crazy creators like Crumpler. I'm just gonna point out him because he's funny. But what made from watching all these guys stream, like what made you actually begin streaming yourself?
I honestly don't know what made me think of it, because it was probably my first stream was probably early 2017. And I knew nothing about streaming. I just downloaded OBS and I was like, I have this game, Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location. I'm just gonna stream and see how it goes. I didn't have a mic set up. I didn't like I had audio playing through my computer speakers. I didn't really have like anybody to chat or anything, but I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. That was like the only stream I did for a while. And then when I started hanging out more with Justin. I started hanging out with Jay, Condor, and V a lot more often as well. And they kind of helped me, like, they kind of helped show me, like, how you should have, like, Twitch set up. Justin helped a lot in that aspect. Because I was able to figure out, like, OBS and Streamlabs pretty easily. It was just, I didn't know how to stream in a good way. Although, to be honest, everyone I've met definitely streams in a different way. So from the beginning, it's nice to know, like, it's nice to hear like how other people stream, and then taking your time with it to figure out how you want to change it up.
Oh yeah, definitely. All the little quirks and settings, like, I recommend you change your setting to this. And then the next person's like, no, you never should do that. Yeah, I've had my fair share of that. Between like Crumpler looking at my setup at one point and then my friend Spam looking at it the next point going, I know computers and you did it wrong. I'm like, leave me alone. I don't know anything about computers. I just played around with things and I worked. And then freaking Spam and Crumpler were like, it didn't work very well though. And I'm like, thanks guys, okay. Teach me everything.
Thanks.
Really appreciate that. And yeah, I had Patrick tell me I should stream because he thought I was weird and like a fangirl and kind of got way too obsessed with games and I should stream because I'm like that. I was like, I can't tell if that's a compliment or not, but I'll do it. That's kind of how I felt about that, but it was interesting that he was the one that's like, do it. Join us in this Twitch world. I'm like, okay, I'll see. But and many years later, hello, we are here.
Yeah.
Speaking of the years and such, can you think of some of the best streaming moments you've had and some of the crazy fun ones or chaotic ones? Any really story you have for us, because I know you and your chaotic nature. I'm sure you have many to share. So
I have a lot of different ones. Okay.
Oh, I can't wait.
So I have 3 that come to mind. I'm probably gonna think of more as I'm talking, but one of them is from one of my most recent streams. I was playing Apex with my friend JJ and my fiance Anarchy. JJ was climbing up part of the map to try and get up to where Anarchy and I were. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of random drop-offs on the map that if you're not paying attention to, you'll fall off the map, and if you fall off the map, you instantly die. So then then everyone has to go through a process to kind of like hopefully respawn you and hope that no one took your like loot, no one took loot from you while they were gone. JJ for some reason didn't realize that his character was climbing over one of these edge pieces, and I just watched him do it the whole time, waiting for him to realize his mistake. He never realizes it, and he climbs full speed up, and then he looks down and just sees nothing, and I just hear him go, oh, as I watch him plummet to the fucking ground and just see his like gamer tag pops up and says, this person has fallen to their death.
Oh my gosh.
That is honestly such a funny fucking moment for me. I was laughing so hard.
Wow.
Okay. I just thought of another moment. I really am just gonna have a lot of moments.
I'm very happy to hear them.
That are D&D related.
Yes. Okay.
I have 2 moments from D&D related. Both of them are Curse of Strahd related.
Mm-hmm.
So in my Curse of Strahd campaign, that Dragyn is actually a part of.
Hell yeah.
The first moment is when Clink jumped out a window. So Clink is a rogue kobold. He does not have a very good intelligence score. I believe he has a decent wisdom score, and he has a very low strength score. All those other scores are pretty balanced though.
Yeah.
So his character was searching around a mage's room. They didn't know this person was a mage. This person was basically learning to be a mage. He had taken someone's spell book and was learning from that, so he knew a couple of spells. He knew the spell invisibility. Now Clink is a rogue and he was stealthed, but just because so he was sneaking around the room trying to see what he could find. But just because one is stealthed does not mean that a person who is looking in the room will not notice the lid of a chest open and then close, and then a pot open and then close, or a door open and close. All of these things Clink did. So the mage kind of reveals himself. He's like, why are you intruding in my room? What the hell are you doing? And Clink, like the lovable, adorable little shit that I want to ring around the neck sometimes, is just jumped out the fucking window.
Yep.
He just jumps out the window. He runs full speed and jumps out the window. This is the 3rd floor of a mansion that he is on, that he just jumps out of. And I'm like, okay, well, you're gonna take fall damage. And he was like, can I try to stop like part of the way to like grab onto the wall? Because his character has a climb speed. Kobolds have a fucking climb speed. He makes the dex save, so he only takes a little bit of damage, and then he grabs onto the fucking side of he just jumps onto the side of the building and just grabs onto it for dear life. It was it's a really good memory because I just remember when Anarchy, who was playing Clink, asked this, it was just silent, and then I started laughing, and then Nightshade and I'm pretty sure someone else just started breaking out in laughter as well, because we're all like, is that allowed? Is that okay? Wait a second.
Yeah, I often am stunned silent with Clink most times. I just go, ah! That's it. There's no words. Just the sound usually comes out of my mouth when it comes to Clink.
There's no way to adjust to Clink sometimes.
Yeah.
But what was also funny is that the second clip also slightly involves Clink. Clink is reading out crossroad signs. So I described to him like what he looks up, he tells the party something, he looks down, he looks to the road, he looks to the party, he looks to Strahd, he looks to the party, he looks to the rest signs again, and the only people that noticed it like at that moment were Nightshade was the only one who voiced that he noticed it. And after I say that, Nightshade just goes, wait, there was something else that you mentioned. And that was how you guys as a group first fully encountered Strahd. And I think that's probably like, I've seen a lot of different Curse of Strahd like moments like in games. I've played through a couple different Curse of Strahd campaigns, and that is probably still my favorite like moment, even as the person who made it, just to be like, haha, this is gonna fuck with my players.
Yeah, I vaguely remember like, wait a minute, there's an addition to that I don't, wait a minute, and then as soon as Nightshade said something, I'm like, okay, because I've played through the campaign before with Lordess as players, both of us being players, and the moments where he appears, this motherfucking Strahd dude, terrifying. And then that was one of the moments where it's like, did that actually happen? Did she actually say that? I don't think she said that. She wouldn't put us in that situation, right? And then, yeah.
She wouldn't do that.
No, it's too early for this.
She did.
Yeah, that was well done. I think there's a few of those surprises where, like, for me, I remember Melva going on, like, that one, like, patrol around the one house, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, Strahd's there, just having a conversation with my character, and I was like, player, panic, but in character, being as cool as a butterfly as possible, but player was panicking, like, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no.
Oh no, 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 no.
It's not like I had a character get kidnapped by the boy before, so you know, it's fine, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'd be weird. And then I do have a fourth, and that's the final one I can think of right now.
Okay.
This would have been from a while ago. It was a Dead by Daylight stream.
Mm.
It was a late night stream, and I was playing with my friend Betrayed Mutt. And we played Dead by Daylight. We haven't been playing Dead by Daylight as much lately, just because there's a lot of stuff with the game going on that a lot of people haven't wanted to touch. So I just haven't played as much. But we were playing Dead by Daylight, and we're on the map that is the game, and it's basically, and the game is based off the Jigsaw, like the Saw movies. So that first like room that you're in, it's based off of that, and it's kind of a combination of all the different like Saw locations. And the map is known as the game. So this is the only map that has 2 floors. It is completely inside and it's 2 floors. So there's the top floor, which has the exit gates, and then there's the bottom floor, which has a lot of the generators. So you have to be really careful when you do generators. And then the character we were playing against is the killer, the Shape, which is, the Shape is basically Michael Myers. He has a stalking ability. So basically his whole thing is that he stalks you, and he starts getting benefits for the longer he stalks you. There's a certain amount of stalking that he can get from each player, like each character in game. So he can't like just stalk us the whole game and just hold up everything. So he's a little balanced. But he does have, there's an add-on for his character that sometimes you can get as a random item. The add-on is, I believe, called Shattered Mirror. It's a very rare item. And when they use it, they can see through, that killer for 32 meters can look through walls, and he can, which means he can see the outlines of characters. The downside of this is that he can never leave tier 1, and I say that's a downside but in tier 1, in the tier 1 version of him, because there's 3 tiers total, the tier 1 version of him, he does not have a heartbeat radius. And that's the whole thing about Dead by Daylight, is you're able to tell the killer is coming closer because of a heartbeat. Michael Myers is one of the only characters that does not have a heartbeat when he gets closer, unless he is directly on top of you. If you hear the heartbeat for a tier 1 Michael Myers, it is already too late. You are already dead. I'm sorry, but
terrifying, Jesus.
So that's kind of the lead up for the split. So I'm running. And I'm running, and I see that I have this perk called Spine Chill. Basically, if the killer is looking in my direction within 32 meters, I get a notification. And so I'm running. I'm injured. I'm on the top floor, and I'm looking around. I'm like, my Spine Chill's going off, and I don't know why. So I jump onto the stairs to go downstairs, and I turn my camera, and Michael Myers is right behind me, just standing there. And I'm pretty sure he came into my stream. This guy came into my stream afterwards, and he said that he was laughing, which is why he didn't hit me. But I screamed so loud that V was in my chat. I'm pretty sure V was in my chat, and he was just like, "I've never heard your voice hit that pitch. I've never heard it get that high." It was just a scream of pure fear and adrenaline.
Oh man!
And the guy. And like that's the clip. It's just me going like, "Why is my Spine Chill going off?" And then a scream. And the guy comes in my chat afterwards because he saw that I was online on Twitch. He comes in my chat afterwards. He was like, "I didn't hit you because I felt bad, but also I was laughing so fucking hard." I was like, "Dude, thanks. Thanks for the heart attack, man."
Oh my goodness. And see, people wonder why me, the scaredy cat, doesn't play Dead by Daylight, because I'd scream all the time. Oh, that's terrifying. Ugh, I got chills. Ugh, Dead by Daylight's creepy. I like watching other people get scared in the game, but I would never put myself through that torture. No, I'm good.
But honestly, I think, thinking back, those are probably some of my top memories of streaming. I'm sure there's more. I have a lot of good memories of streaming, but those are the ones that I can think that come to mind right now.
Perfect. Some pretty good moments there, definitely. Just a good variety of stuff. Apex, D&D, and Dead by Daylight. A lot of D's in that sentence, but anyway. Please don't take that out of context, YouTube comments, but moving on.
I had to stop myself from making a D's nuts joke. I'm so sorry.
Oh, jeez. Yes, let the chaos reign, as Critical Role would say. But now moving into some more like deeper thought questions, because I made myself answer them last week, and now we're here this week with answering these questions. Here we go. Um, so you've been streaming for about like 4-ish years or so, I guess. Kind of now that's 2021, which, oh my gosh. Uh, a pretty deep, thought-provoking question here. Do you feel like you've made an impact in some form or another? Like maybe creating a community, giving back to charity, forming some friendships, impact in like many different ways. Do you feel like you've made an impact somehow, some way?
Yes, honestly.
Hmm.
I know I'm not like, of course, like I'm not like a really big streamer. But I know like I have impacted people in some way or another. With my community, like I don't have like hundreds of people in my Discord server or anything, but those are people that but I know that I have made an impact because because the people that are in my Discord feel comfortable in my Discord. They feel open. The people that that like talk, they feel comfortable talking. They feel like they can talk to people in that server without having a range of like a lot of bad things happening to them. And that's what I really want. I want to create a community where people can say things or let out frustrations without being judged for it or upset by it. And I know there have been incidents where there have been people who, like, I'll have to interfere, and like me myself or some of the mods might have to interfere in a conversation because it's basically two or more people clashing, and we know that it's not doesn't seem like it's going to resolve in a peaceful way.
Mm-hmm.
So I genuinely do think that in 4 years of streaming, I have made an impact. Um, and as little as that impact may be, I like to think it's helped as much as it can. It's helped. Like, any impact is better than none for me.
Yeah, absolutely. As someone part of your Discord, it's one of the ones I've remained in for like years, compared to others I've left or in some cases been forced out of. That's a story for a later time maybe, but it's nice to have like a place like that where it's active. You know, like it's not
Yeah.
like one of the quiet dead servers for whatever reason where it used to be active and it just goes whoosh. For
Yeah.
even if it's just once a day with people saying, "Hey, how's it going?" It's there, and it's kind of a nice little like, "Oh, people are asking a question. Am I 3 hours late? I don't care. I'm gonna post an answer finally." And you
Yeah.
know that you're not gonna get judged for being like a 3 hour late response. It's gonna be like, "Oh, it's Dragyn. Hello."
Hello.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you with that though. I always know like I'm in like some of my friends' discords are kind of like that where it not a lot like there are people in the server and I know there are people that see things in the server, but no one really talks in them. So
Yeah.
a big thing for that for me is that especially if you're the owner of the server, you should always say something at least every day. That's what, like, when my
Mm-hmm.
server had only like 20 people, that's what I was doing on a daily basis, and I would see just like days of only my messages.
Yeah.
But people started talking because they were like, "Oh, well, the person that we watch stream and that we watch on YouTube and everything, they actively talk here and they're actively trying to talk to the people that watch them, so that's kind of cool." So then it kind of brings in more people to want to talk, to like want to talk and communicate, and then more and more people start talking as well, and it helps.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're one of the more luckier ones that kind of had that phenomenon begin. As I've had a server before, and I would do the same thing, pop in there daily and poke in the variety of like topics and channels just to like see if I could spark something, and then you see that spark and then it fizzles very quickly. And some people just don't like that feeling, and it's led for me to make changes on Discord, but the main thing is that I try to be active everywhere else just to make sure people don't feel like how I felt. And so
Yeah.
I like your server because I can see like the Brits pop in, and I work overnights now, so whenever the Brits or like Nami pop in, I'm like, oh, I'm awake and they just woke up. This is great. But then also I realize, my sleep schedule's not healthy, but don't worry about it. It's fine. But yeah,
It's
it's
fine.
yeah, it's a neat little phenomenon that came out, and now we've got a pretty good constant group that's in there every day, which is really neat to see. And
Yeah.
I think I'd agree with that impact that you've had. Even if it's a tiny little community right now, I think it's a good community to be a part of. Yeah.
Honestly, genuinely, yeah. I think it's amazing.
Ah, so good. And oh, this next question hit me hard because I was like, oh boy, I have to actually share some things I've learned from streaming because I've been through the ringer. Between like being a moderator, a viewer, and a streamer, I've had some lessons learned from all three avenues. So for you, as I know you're a mod, you've been a viewer, and now you stream yourself. What are some lessons you've learned from this big streaming world that you're in?
um, I guess probably the first lesson I'd say, and I know everyone says this. Everyone says this. Everyone's always like, everyone all this is probably one of the first things any Twitch streamer says, to be like, hey, if you want to get interested in Twitch streaming or anything like that, this is what they always say. Um, that uh, don't look at the numbers.
Hmm.
Um, when you I as a person, like, that's my first lesson I would say, is that starting off, I would sometimes like look at, like, for the first few streams I did, I would look at the numbers and I'd kind of get a little discouraged because I'd be like, oh well, I'm not really getting out there. I'm not like a sensational. I'm not like an instant sensation
Mm-hmm.
like Markiplier or Ludwig, like these other people, like very influential people. Um, but as I started streaming more, I realized that if I wanted to enjoy it, I couldn't pay attention to the numbers. I couldn't think like, oh, here are like, this is my sub account, this is my sub count, my follower count, this is my, like, active chatters and everything. And honestly, that is what I needed to do. Like, if you focus only on if you focus only on the numbers, then then it's not going to make you feel happy, because you're just going to focus, you're just going to think of it too much as, like, you're going to start thinking of it as like a business opportunity, less and less as a thing that you like. For myself, as something I do to help relieve stress, to make like, again, make a community, to make a place where people are comfortable talking. And I think is like that is why, number one, um my number one the lesson is that don't don't look at the numbers. My second lesson would probably be that not everyone uses Twitch as often as a lot of people. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I say this is because I'll have people that, like, come into my stream, and I'll like I'll see them kind of trolling a little bit, and I'll see, like, my mods kind of warn them or something, and sometimes I'll just be like, it's fine. They can go ahead and do that, because I want them to, like, because as much as I don't mind being trolled. I don't mind people coming in my chat and being like, haha, you suck at this game. Like, I know I suck at this game. I know I just emptied an entire clip into I know I just emptied an entire clip to the left of the person I was trying to shoot. I just did it yesterday. I know all of these things. If someone wants to come into my chat and say the same thing, that cool. You have observation skills, and I appreciate you are helpful to society with those observation skills. But one of my favorite like one of my favorite moments that I've seen was actually from a streamer that I know, Zell.
Mm.
And he was just playing, like, this. I think he was playing Farming Simulator, and I was just talking in his stream. There was no mods there. It was just me and a few other people, and this random person comes in, and he just starts like trolling. He says like, oh, I'm gonna call you this, I'm gonna call you that, and Zell's just like, okay, I'm not gonna stop you. I'll time you, I'll time you out and I'll ban you afterwards. But if you want to do that, then you can go ahead and do that. But you'll have to face the repercussions. And the person, like, afterwards was like they genuinely started talking to Zell, like,
Mm.
started interacting with the chat more. And I honestly thought it was really cool, because the person was even like, you're the first person that didn't immediately time me out or ban me because I was because I said something like that. And it's something that I realized, that sometimes especially something I've learned with being friends with Salad.
Hmm.
Um, sometimes that's just that. Sometimes that yeah, Salad. Sometimes that is just people's personalities. Like sometimes people will come off a lot harsher than they actually are because they want to see if that will push you away because they don't want to become too close to you if they can just easily like push you back essentially.
Yeah.
And
Kind of like showing you like
Salad and
their
I
worst sides, basically, and just seeing how far, like, if you accept that or not.
exactly.
Yeah. Huh. I like that.
Exactly. And I realized, yeah, and I realized looking at a lot more like Twitch streams and everything, getting more like I've been getting a wider view on people. I started watching Saikuno, Ludwig, I started watching Valkyrie on YouTube. But just seeing like all these different people, sometimes people are like that in chats, where even if they're risking like getting timed out or even banned, they want to make sure that they can be a more negative version of themselves that they might be on a regular basis before they try to put on this persona that they're good, because they want to know that they'll be accepted for who they are in that community. And I think that's personally, I think that's a really good thing to know. Like that's a really good thing to be like very open. So I've lately when I've been streaming, if I don't have a mod there, if someone comes into my chat and they're trying to like troll me or anything, I've been a lot more relaxed. Like I even had I had someone come into my chat a few weeks ago and they were just like, "You suck," and I was like, "Yeah, thanks. I know that I can see myself up on the bottom of the scoreboard up there. Trust me, buddy. I know I suck at this game, but I'm still playing and you're still watching."
Mm.
And after that, like the guy like talked a little bit more, and then he started lurking, and it was, it's one of those things where I'm like, it's easier for me, like, why bother? Like, if a person's gonna be persistently like like not nice in chat, if they're gonna be mean to the other people in chat, or just not being enjoyable to be around, then at that point I'll probably like time them out or talk to them, and if it gets necessary, possibly ban them. But if it's just like a first time or they're just like trying, or even especially if it's people that are brand new to Twitch that are just like, hey, I'm gonna pop into this stream because they look kind of cool, I don't want to just time them out immediately because I just happen to have a rule that they're not used to.
Hmm.
You know, like they say something that I should be able to kind of brush off a bit easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely need to learn that myself because I definitely hated putting myself on webcam because every time I did, there would be immediate trolls almost, like just by putting my face on the screen going, oh my god, how do you have friends? You're so big or you're so fat. And like immediately it's like, okay, that's attacking my self confidence, shutting down, powering down, nope, by camera. But to learn
Yeah.
just to kind of like brush it off is something pretty valuable. So I think that's a really good lesson to share here and for even myself. So I'm
Yeah.
learning something from you today, Lordess, which is really cool.
Yeah. Um, I guess as for other lessons,
Hmm.
going back to what I said earlier, if you stream or do YouTube, do it your way. Everyone has a unique style. Like we have like everyone has different like openings, or like every like people have different like openings. So like you had your opening for the podcast.
Hmm.
Patrick always like Patrick calls his community the Derp Nuggets.
Yeah.
So everyone has something very personal to their communities. And I feel like that's a good thing to know, is that that even if like your community is like a little similar to something, it's still your community,
Hmm.
because there are differences, because it's still different. And even if you think, oh, someone's already got this idea for a community, even if someone else already has the idea, then it's not going to be implemented the exact same way as you have done it.
Hmm.
For example, like so I when I started, I would go like, "Hey guys, I'm Lordess of the Rings. Welcome to like my YouTube."
Hmm.
I'd do that, and then I kind of stopped doing intros, just because. even though I see a lot of people doing intros, I felt more comfortable not doing intros. I felt more comfortable just kind of throwing the viewer into whatever, even if it's a random conversation about like, for instance, a random conversation about the ghost in Subuki's Jump Scare Mansion and which ghost we would be most likely to fuck or something. Like random things like that. I'd rather like throw something into that and maybe say, hey guys, I'm Lordess of the Rings, like later on, or like even at the end of the video where I'm like, oh wait, I should probably say that. Because I feel like it kind of gives its own like personality. And it's the same way for the only thing that I do really consistently anymore is when I sign off from streams or YouTubes, I'll be like, good luck out in the apocalypse. Which is something I came up with because my whole community is kind of like zombie themed. And it kind of actually really helped because I started picking up streaming more during COVID, and a lot of people joked like it was an apocalyptic, like it's an apocalyptic type of event, which to be fair, it was. There was a lot of bad things that happened at COVID, but it was funny because I had someone come into my chat and they're like, did you, like, near the end of my stream after I said that, and they were like, do you always say that, or is that just something you recently started? I was like, that's something I've been doing for a while. And it's just something like I started doing like off the top, like out of the, like honestly in the back of my head, it's something I started doing subconsciously because I was like, oh well, I kind of like how people sign off for streams. So it's again kind of linking, it kind of went off on a tangent with that, but again linking back to the like main lesson is that people do things that are similar, but it's never going to be exactly the same.
Yeah, kind of like a snowflake.
It's like the exactly like the saying, like there are no two snowflakes that are exactly the same.
Yeah. There
are no two things that are exactly the same. Like you can have two bottles of orange soda in front of you, which I definitely don't have a bottle of orange soda in front of me, which is why I'm using this example. But you can have two bottles of orange soda in front of you, and both of them have not been opened. They're both still going to be different. One of them is going to be a little bit more shaken up than the other. One of them might not have as much as the other, because even if they were filled up in machines with robots and factories, robots are just like people too. Robots can't always do things in the exact same way forever. There's going to, like, time is going to wear them down. They're going to start falling behind in upgrades. It's going to start making, like, it's going to be harder depending on different seasons, things like that. Like, no two things are going to be the same no matter what. So even if you have an idea that is similar to someone else's, maybe, like, if it's a friend, maybe talk to them about it, be like, hey, I was wondering, I have this idea, would you be okay if I did that? Or even if it's like a random person you've never met, stand your ground and be like, this is how I based my stuff. Your stuff, like, point out like differences between yours and that other person's if they're trying to be like, hey, you're just copying me. Because truly there's no way to just copy people, because there is no originality, like original idea really anymore. Like anything is going to be considered that you're copying them in some way.
Yeah, definitely. Even if it's a very similar ideas, the intent behind the idea could be very different. So like I tend to use this like theme in this way, and then the person could be like, oh, I use it for this way, and then boom, there's that difference created, and usually acceptance comes out of that. So I like that. Do it your way. Like for me, my channel, oh my goodness, because my channel's been through the ringer on YouTube. I've had like an interesting start, and then I created phrases like were born out of games. Like I used to do an outro that was like, carve it into your soul, yeah, from Hatful Boyfriend. That was the one game I streamed quite often when I began. And Dating Bird Sim is where I got my start. Oh, what a comment that is out loud. Nice. But even then, like, you workshop it and develop it. And with me being a teacher now, oh my gosh, I've graduated university since I started this crap. I'm like, oh, I'm more academic and I like reading and history. So I've got like a book themed and those things, because it's like, I love books. And it's really neat to have these like unique things pop out just to see what you can do with it, and keeping it for yourself or making it really your own is what it's all about, to stand out from the rest. And I think you do that well with your apocalypse one. That's the one thing I remember from everything you do is the apocalypse saying. So I like it.
Thank you.
All right. Any other more lessons to share? Anything else that you think you've learned or would want the world to know?
I guess like just be yourself.
Yeah.
Like, always, like that's my biggest takeaway is just always be yourself. And if someone's trying to like push you down for being yourself, then just fight back. Like be
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm gonna be myself because that's how because I feel comfortable like that.
Mm-hmm. You should hear the feedback I got when I said I'm going to do a history series on my channel. People are like, really? You can use YouTube to share some really stupid histories of stupid people in the past? I'm like, hell yeah, I will, because they're cool. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I found a freaking pirate queen to share about. Who in your life can say that they found information about a pirate queen? So it's a very unique thing, and I remember I got feedback from a couple friends that are like, that's not going to be big on YouTube. And I'm like, that's not the point, though. I'm having fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, be yourself. I like that one. Transition to we're almost at the last two questions. Dun, dun, dun. But I know that you've been trying to get back into some sort of regularity with streaming, so I'm curious to hear what your attitude and feelings are towards streaming as of throughout this pandemic, or even like right now in this moment. How do you feel about streaming for yourself?
I feel very very comfortable and very confident with streaming. I feel like there's a lot of things that could discourage me out there, and I I'm trying to ignore the haters, I guess, which I kind of hate saying because of the whole like haters back off thing. But genuinely, I'd have to say that it is very nice to be able to. It is very nice to like be able to go into my stream and not feel pressured, as I feel like feel comfortable streaming whatever I want, because I feel like a lot of bigger creators are worried like they have to use Twitch to like pay their bills, so they play a lot of games that maybe they themselves don't want to play, but they know they'll get a lot of viewership from it. And I'm always very like grateful for the fact that even if I became like Twitch full time, I would not want to do that, because I would want to be in a position where I'm not sacrificing what I want to do just to make people happy. Like, as much as I'd love to make my community happy, when I stream, it's for myself as well. Like, it's because I think, well, I'm kind of enjoying this, and I kind of want to share that enjoyment with other people. So I'm going to stream this, and it's something that I feel like my current attitude is that I should never feel obligated to stream a specific thing just because I want to try and get as many like viewers or anything as possible. Because I can have I want to enjoy myself while I'm doing it. So that's why I'm doing it. My current attitude, I guess, is that I'm going to continue doing what makes me happy, and if it doesn't make me happy anymore, then maybe I'll stop. Maybe I'll take a break and come back to it, or maybe I won't. But right now, it is something I genuinely enjoy. I love talking to my people in my stream. I love just playing games in my stream while people are like listening or just lurking. Like, as long as if people are enjoying it and I'm enjoying it, then I think it's perfect.
Yeah, that's a really healthy way to look at it for sure. So I can definitely appreciate that. There was once upon a time I used to be like that, and now I'm in that break period, as you mentioned, where I'm like, I gotta reshape and refocus, and then maybe come back at it in a more healthier mindset. And maybe these interviews I'm having with lovely people like yourself are kind of teaching me how to do so. So who knows? Maybe I'll return sooner than later. You never know. And that leads to the next thing with goals. I know you're pretty like go with the flow currently with the streaming part of it, but is there anything you'd like to accomplish through streaming, or have any goals or personal things you want to work through via being a streamer?
Well, I as a person fear mortality and the thought that one day I will care, or one day I will not. One day I will not be here anymore, and that if I like personally, I want to make an impact so that I am remembered, which is kind of a selfish reason, mostly because I fear not being remembered.
Hmm.
But my future plans, my main goal I've always had is that I want to make a happy community, but I want to make a change in the world.
Hmm.
I want to make an impact on the world. I want to do things that will help the world and help the generations that are after me to have a better life. Like, I want to be able to I want to help with world hunger. I want to help with homeless populations in America and in other countries as well. I want to help with unemployment and somehow create jobs. I want to do all of these things because I want to make the world a better place, not only for myself, but for my children, if I have them, for my grandchildren, great grandchildren, for nieces, nephews, like anybody. I
Hmm.
want to just be able to I want to be able to make a difference for them. And even for people I'm not related to or people I don't know, I want to make a difference. So
Yeah.
that's always been like my main goal is like I've always thought that if I became like this big streamer, big YouTuber, I would use it to make a difference. I would use my platform to make as big of a difference as I can because that's how I would want to portray myself because I try as hard as I can to help out with anything.
Hmm.
I always try to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
um
So I take charity streams are
as
in
for
the
like future
future.
plans, yeah, I've I've had times I've gotten to the point where I almost did a charity stream. I've done one charity stream, and that was with
Yeah.
Team Beta, and that was me, Condor V, and the other. I was a guest. I was more so I was a guest because Condor and V were a part of Team Beta, and they were looking for other people. And Condor and V were like, "Hey, this is Lordess. She streams a lot. You should try and see if she would be happy to help." So I ended up joining for that, and I streamed a lot. And we actually made our goal. We only had a goal of $250. We made $300, and I
Hey.
believe it was a St. Jude's. It was over the course of a month,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember it because the goal I had was if we hit $50, I would like add for the entire month a every bit or anything donated, I would have a Burt's every flavor jelly bean,
Oh gosh.
which are from like the Harry Potter. So of course, like
Mm-hmm.
there's normal flavors, there's blueberry popcorn, then there's dirty sock, barf, just some really just some really bad flavors that make you question a lot of life decisions.
Yep.
But it was something that I would gladly do again because I loved the fact that I was making an impact and that I was
Mm-hmm.
helping the world. Even with a small amount that helped. And it was nice. So I would definitely say yes for future plans. I would love to do charity streams. Um Another future plan I have is I want to play more horror games. Um,
Ah.
this is mostly because I recently looked at my Steam library. I have almost 200 games in my Steam library. Almost half of them are horror-based games because my friends hate me and they like seeing me in pain. I'm looking at you, Nightshade, Condor V. I'm looking at and Jay. I'm looking at you, motherfuckers. All right. I know you can somehow see me. um, but also because I've started getting more comfortable playing horror games, and I think if I do play more horror games, I'd want to do them with my friend group, the Natural Wonders, which is who I've been playing a lot of games with recently. Just because it's as funny as it is for me to be terrified alone, it's also funny to be able to watch my friends be absolutely terrified alone. And
Yeah.
it's just nice.
Yeah, it's a little unique take on horror gaming where most people love to do it to see the YouTuber or streamer suffer, but if there's people suffering with them, it's even better.
Exactly.
Well,
The more the merrier, of course.
yes, well, if you want some genuine little squeaks from me, I'm down for that because I will squeak. I will not maybe scream, but I remember watching something horror related a while ago, and it was like, oh, it was an anime that's freaking spam. No, not spam. I think it was someone else that recommended it. I was like, okay, I'll check it out. Why not? And like the whole time, I just remember going, like whimpering in fear. So that's how I handle fear. Yeah, I am in panic. It's pretty much how I handle horror. But that's an exciting plan, playing more horror games, something I'm not brave enough quite yet to do, as some of my friends know I'm very infamous to getting through Amnesia the Dark Descent, and the very first jump scare is where a door swings open by itself, and I will quit the game immediately. Like, not even, like, run around the corner and hide. It's like, huh, okay, not alright, goodbye game, close game, shut down, open Stardew Valley. I am infamous for that. So, I can appreciate someone else willing to do some horror.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well, that was quite a journey. Wow, I didn't expect to hit 50 minutes, but here we are. Any other last final words you want to say about streaming, YouTube, or anything like that with your experience?
I'd say streaming is always going to be like kind of an uphill battle, because there's always going to be like, there are going to be cases, of course, that like it's very easy for you, and if it's easy for you, then I congratulate you. That is absolutely amazing. I just know from a lot of different people that have streamed that sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it is very difficult to get going and get started, and I know that it sometimes frustrates people. It makes people not want to continue, but I know that I'd rather try my hardest, even if it only impacted some, than not try at all and end up not having as much of an impact as I want.
Yeah. That's a great way to look at it. Thinking about myself, where I'm at with it too, so I like that idea. Try just to keep trying and be a little persistent even through the pitfalls and mountains in front of you. Just keep trying. You never know where you can get. I think that's a pretty good way to look at it, despite the many ups and downs of streaming that have been out there. But
yeah, basically.
Well, time for you to promote yourself. Go!
Alright, so hello everybody. I am Lordess, or where I'm mostly known as Lordess of the Rings. I have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Lordess of the Rings. It has a little like zombie girl with blonde hair that my amazing artist Betrayed Mutt drew for me. I stream a lot of variety of games. I stream D&D. I've been streaming a lot of Apex Legends, just because Apex Legends I have on my PlayStation, and my PC hasn't been having the best like time lately, so I've been trying to avoid streaming from my from my laptop. I say PC, but it's a laptop.
Yeah.
And then I also have a YouTube channel. It's again Lordess of the Rings. I upload things there. I've been uploading the Curse of Strahd campaign, which I'm currently DMing, and I've uploaded previous Twitch streams as well. So if there's something that I may have streamed, if you want to look on my YouTube, it goes back quite a way. You can kind of see where I started and where I am now. I look different. I look different. I sound different. You can definitely tell I've aged. I'm not a reverse vampire where I'm just going backwards in time. I have a Twitter. My Twitter handle is LordessofRings, because Twitter sucks and has a fucking character limit on your usernames, which absolutely sucks, and that should stop. But I have a Twitter. I tweet a lot of dumb shit, and I retweet my friends saying dumb shit, but also some really cool things on Twitter. So
Mhm.
that's my Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. I think that's everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you asking me? What? um, no, definitely.
Hypothetically, I believe that's everything.
Yes, at least that's the main avenues where you can see her or like enjoy her presence, basically. Definitely go check her out. All that stuff will be in the description below because I've already prepared for this episode and saved it. So all the links are down below. Go give her a follow, subscribe. I think Twitch is also still follow, but you can also subscribe there with Twitch Prime. Hey, throwing that in there. Woohoo! And yeah, it's been a journey, and I hope this was as fun for you as it was for me to learn about your story. Yeah, it was interesting.
I've loved this.
Yeah, it's fun to kind of look back on things and be like, oh, I started there and now I'm here. Look at this. uh, well, thank you so much for being my guest today. This was a great episode, and I will reveal next week's guest. As I promised last week, I revealed that Lordess would be my guest this week. Next week will be the one, the only, Crumbler64. He will be answering a lot of the same questions, and I'm sure we're going to get many a story from Mr. Crumbler, our story weaver, as has been known in our last D&D campaign.
Yeah.
I hope everyone looks forward to it. But before then, remember, check the description below. Give this lovely person some follows and love, and we will be back next week with more content of things, because I'm still figuring out what to do with gaming. Waha! But personally for me, I am on YouTube, Twitter, everywhere. Soon to be back on Twitch. I gotta figure out my life before then. And that will be everything for the Dragyn's Den. I hope you all enjoyed your drinks, you had fun listening to some stories, and we will be back next week with another guest. We're gonna say goodbye now, so bye-bye.
Goodbye, everybody. Good luck out there in the apocalypse, as I always say.
And I just say see ya. That's me. Bye.
Goodbye.